Hi, Bobby Sawyer here, and I got 3 reasons why people prefer using trusts versus just a will. One probably everyone's familiar with is that when you have a trust, in properly funded trust, it avoids probate. So your house, bank accounts, pretty much anything that you own can be put into the trust. And when it happens, you avoid the probate process. So why would you want to avoid probate? There's the time associated with it. Depending on the state you're in, probate can last anywhere from 4 months to over a year. And that's due to statutory requirements. There's simply no way around it. Number two, the expense associated with probate. Nationwide average cost of probate varies between 3% and 8% the value of your estate. So if you let's take that 3% number. If you have a $300,000 house, your probate costs can get north of $9,000 very quickly. And then the third reason why people don't like probate is there's no privacy. When your estate goes through probate, everything you own is written down on a form and filed down at the courthouse, and anyone can go there and see exactly what you have and exactly where it's going. So if you have concerns about particularly when young children inherit, not wanting to become victims of financial scams or fraud, then maintaining that privacy is important, and avoiding probate using a trust does that for you. Number two, at least here at Johannes Meyer and Sawyer, the second reason people find trusts more attractive than wills is that we do a good amount of incapacity planning. And so, the good news is we're living longer. The bad news is we're living longer. So the likelihood, particularly for clients that are retired or approaching retirement, the concern of spending some amount of time in a nursing home is a very valid concern. And we can put strategies in place that allow us to protect assets when the first person in a married couple, when the first person passes away. If it looks like a nursing home is on the horizon, either due to Alzheimer's or dementia or something along, some other chronic illness, we can move everything over into what's called a supplemental needs trust, and that protects assets if you need to apply for Medicaid and keep the nursing home from forcing you to have to essentially sell your house. And the third reason people like trusts, in my opinion, is the absolute best way to pass down assets, particularly if you have young children. Something happens to you and the wife, or if you're unmarried, single parent, something passes away, you have young children. If you don't have a trust or a proper estate plan, everything you own will go to them when they're 18 years old. And it's not that all 18-year-olds are bad, but most 18-year-olds have horrible financial decision-making skills. And so you can leave it in trust, and you can dictate when that money is available and how much of it is available. So, for example, in my estate plan, if something were to happen to my wife and me while our kids are young, everything goes into trust until they're 25 years old. Up until that point, money is always available for healthcare, education, and maintenance. So paying doctor's bills, whatever education they may be getting. And then maintenance is kind of a catch-all, rent, health insurance, gas money, all that sort of stuff. At 25, they get access to a quarter of it. At 30, they get access to another quarter of it. And at 35, they get access to everything. And the idea there is graduating college, getting married, buying a house, having kids, all tends to start happening in that window. And so you're opening up funds available for a down payment on a house, or raising a kid, or getting married, that sort of thing. Also, at 35, the money can still be held in a trust. And the reason why you want it to be held in the trust is that it's protected. So if they end up going through a divorce or sort of any sort of legal or financial trouble, then what you've passed down to them is protected. Unless there's a specific need for cash, right? Unless they have a doctor's bills or paying for their own kids' tuition for schooling, they can leave the money in the trust, and they can invest it however they want. They can buy second property, they can put it into the market, whatever the case may be. But living it in the trust protects it. So there you go. Those are 3 reasons why people like using trusts over a will. It avoids probate, powerful incapacity planning and asset protection strategies, and best way to pass down assets and protect your children's future. So this has been Bobby Sawyer. Have a great day. Thanks.